Welcome to the Console Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Bracken Willie. Reload your mind and revitalize your life. Have you had problems lately or throughout your life with social anxiety? If you have, this is the episode for you. If you feel like you're a people pleaser, this is the episode for you. If you feel like you get anxious and depressed for no reason and your thoughts are overwhelming, this is the place for you as well. So if you're joining me on YouTube, I hope you enjoy the gameplay. We played Tomb Raider today, had a great time. It was a 20th year anniversary special edition game. So I feel like all of us have our own insecurities that we live by. We developed them when we were children, and now that we're adults, we kind of react to the insecurities that we have. We might not think we're beautiful enough. We might not think we're smart enough. Other people are better than us. Other people are special. And we're not, right? We're not the special people. Good things won't happen to us, right? I feel like all of us have some sort of insecurities that we protect, right? We love living with our problems. I want to challenge that today. So there's a study done by Dartmouth College back in the 80s. They took 20 men and 20 women, and they gave them makeup on their face in the form of a scar. So they had these massive scars going down their entire face. And before they let them go out into the public in an interview, because what they told them is, we're going to put these scars on your face, and you're going to go out and be interviewed by someone and go speak to people in the public. They gave them a mirror to see their scar. And what happened was, before they let them go, they said, okay, we just need to touch up your makeup first. And what they did is they actually took away the scar on their face. So they were going out totally normal on what they had looked like before the study was done. When they came back into the room, they said that they reported mass amounts of discrimination towards them because of the scars on their faces. And there were suggestive comments. But what they didn't realize is the scars had been removed beforehand. And so you need to go look up this study. It's actually super amazing to learn about. You might think to yourself, oh, they're more beautiful than I am. Oh, they're stronger than I am. They have a better body than me. They're more special than I am. Right? Oh, I'm fat. I'm lazy. I'm not efficient. I'm not productive. I'm a lazy sack. Like all of these thoughts flood our mind. But in all reality, if we're striving to do the best that we can, then that's literally all we can do. Right? So I want to talk to you about this pivotal moment that I had in my life. Since I was a young kid, I've had a really hard time telling people how I thought and what I was thinking, and I really struggled with these things. Unless I was mad. If I was angry, I would just say the most ludicrous things and purposefully try to hurt people's feelings because they hurt me, right? And that wasn't right. But this pivotal moment happened a few years ago. I was working for a sales company, and the owner that I was working for was nice enough to pay for group therapy for us. And so there was about 12 leaders in the same room, these men that I worked side by side with already for a couple of years. And there was a moment where we were talking about social anxiety and people pleasing. And for some reason, I raised my hand and told them the same thing that I just told you, is I've just had a hard time expressing myself. And when people bother me, that I just kind of let it dwell inside and I don't actually address it. And in that moment, the therapist said, okay, out of the 11 others here, choose one of them that you feel like has wronged you in some way. And I need you to tell them while we're here in this room. And if you can imagine, my hands started sweating like crazy. I started dripping sweat off my face. I got flushed, a pit in my stomach, right? Like the anxiety that I felt was real. And so what I did eventually, though, it took me a while to build up the courage, but I chose one gentleman in the room that I felt like had done things that were inappropriate, specifically towards me. And I told him the exact scenario, and he was shocked, really, that I thought those things, but was understanding. And he didn't mean to hurt me, and he didn't mean to like put me down in the way he did. And he was completely apologetic. And that was a really pivotal moment for me, because first of all, I had never really done that before, obviously, considering the anxiety that I had. But after that, I've really taken time to think of boundaries for myself. And when somebody does something that crosses one of my boundaries, I might not do it immediately, but I definitely take time to address it, especially if it's someone that I love and care about. Now, I'm not going to do that to someone driving terribly down the road and I get road rage and, I hunt them down or something like that. Like, I'm talking about people that you love and care about. It is vitally important to let those people know how you feel so they can respect your boundaries. And the best part about it is you can do it in loving ways, right? It doesn't have to be, oh, I hate you because you did this to me and you're so wrong. What we can do is be a lot more tactical about that. So before I jump into the ways that we can do that, I just want to ask you a question. How often do you say sorry? Because I hear a lot of sorries. I'm guilty of it, and I love when people call me out on saying sorry too much, because sorries just don't do a whole lot if you really think about it. What we need to do is turn our sorries into thank yous. And that works for most situations. Obviously, if you're in an argument or something, like maybe thank you isn't the best way to go about that, obviously. But let's work on turning our sorries into thank yous. So having difficult conversations is kind of the way I'd like to preface this. So let's say somebody did something that crossed one of your boundaries. How do you go about that? Step one, ask if they're in a place to hear and talk about something difficult. So for example, hey, I really care about you. I have some difficult things that I want to talk to you about. Are you in a place where we could talk about that? Step number 2, express love and appreciation for them. Step 3, let it be known, especially if these people are more defensive, that you're having this issue with. Let them know that you're not willing to argue about this and you just want to express your feelings and resolve it together. By doing those things, I feel like we can have accurate and effective communication instead of being caught up in emotion and saying things that we regret later on. So there's a quote by Marianne Williamson that I want to share real quick. So it says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." Now, I used to not know what this quote meant. And a few months back, I feel like it really hit me that when we truly overcome the fears that we have in life, we can empower others to overcome their fears and to be who they truly are. So, are you doing what you need to do to overcome your own fears, your own insecurities, your own anxieties and depressions? Because ultimately, we all have anxieties and depressions, right? All anxiety is, at the simplest terms, is an inability to face or confront your fears. Depression, on the other hand, in the simplest terms, is an inability to accept your situation or the situation in which you're involved. So, are you putting yourself in situations and in environments that you can overcome those things? Because I know from personal experience, having struggled with anxiety, deep anxieties and depressions throughout my life, that when you put yourself in those environments, you will come out stronger, you will come out with less anxiety and less depression and be able to handle them better. So my challenge to you this week is put yourself in situations where you will struggle, have a hard time, and come out stronger because of it. If there's something that gives you anxiety, face it. If there's something that brings upon depression, accept it and move on. Because anxiety and depression are not disorders that we will have to live with for the rest of our life. It's something that we can truly overcome. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Console Therapy. Reload your mind and revitalize your life.